And here's a story and a half for you for a Friday morning. We're about to meet Renee Zackary from Abingdon. Now, Renee has had quite a life of it. This is the story I was telling you about, from Abingdon with love. She was in the WAF during the Second World War. She was married to a Czech Spitfire pilot. They moved to Czechoslovakia, the pair of them, after the war, but then had to flee after the rise of communism. Renee armed only with a small pistol in her handbag. Now, Renee's been sharing her memories with a project in Abingdon called Down Memory Lane. We've been talking about that on this show over the last few weeks. I think it's time she shared her story with us all, and I'm pleased she is. Renee, good morning.
Good morning.
It's lovely to have you on.
Thank you, but sore throat mind.
Don't worry about that. We'll pick our way through the story very gently, and
Okay.
we'll keep an eye on your throat for you as well. How does that sound? First, Renee, how did you meet your husband? How does a girl meet a Czech Spitfire pilot?
Well, because I was in the RAF as well when I was in the RAF, and the Czech squadrons came down to our camp, which was Bradwell Bay. And from there, we moved over to Manston. So I was with the Czech squadrons for quite some time.
Was it love at first sight? Did you fall for him, and did
Well,
he fall for
no,
you?
it wasn't.
No.
I'm afraid it wasn't. But we got on great. We were soulmates.
Yes. Oh, and so you gradually fell in love?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. What was it like serving in Abingdon during the war before we move on? What was that like as an experience?
Well, I wasn't serving in Abingdon, actually. I never came down to Abingdon.
Okay.
But, well, when you're in the forces, you're a big family. And you get on with everybody. And, of course, you have your little snatches here and there like everybody else. But mainly, you are looking after each other, and you are a big family, and it's an enjoyable time. I enjoyed my years in the WAF.
Did it take much to be persuaded to go to Czechoslovakia with your husband? Was that a big...
Not at all.
No, it wasn't a big decision for you.
Not at all. I mean, if it had gone to Timbuktu, I'd have gone also.
Oh, that's a lovely thing for you to say, Renee.
Yes.
So what was Czechoslovakia like in the 1940s? We're in the 1940s now, and you've moved.
That's right, yeah.
You've moved to Czechoslovakia. It's a big step, Renee.
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful country, beautiful people, really nice, lovely people.
You were getting on well, you were settling down, and then suddenly all things, this beautiful country that you talk of, it started to change, didn't it?
That's right. They had an election, and of course the communists came in power. And that's when the change started. And people who had come from the West, like the boys who had escaped in 39, which my husband was one of them, they had escaped from Czechoslovakia because of the crisis in Europe at that time. And if the young men hadn't got out, they would have been taken to Nazi labour camps.
Oh dear.
Well, really, they were death camps, weren't they, really? So that's why the young men were escaping from these countries and getting out to fight.
So for your husband, and then ultimately for you, it was a matter of life and death. You had to get out.
Well, yes, because coming from the West there, we were, being watched and everything, and it's best to exit the place,
Were you scared, Renee, as a couple?
Well, no, I wasn't. I don't know why I wasn't, but thinking back now, I should have been, shouldn't I?
Oh, yes.
But I wasn't, no. You just done everything calmly and carefully, and that was that. You had to be careful.
Yeah. This election, Renee, did things change almost straight away? Did you notice, from almost one day to the next, as soon as the Communist Party got in, and we're talking a long time ago, but did you notice a change almost immediately? The atmosphere changed?
Not so much suddenly like that, but the people themselves knew what was going to come. The people knew, and it did gradually come in, and day to day different things were happening and that, and as I say, people were being arrested and goodness knows what.
Yes.
And we just wanted out.
Yes. What did your husband sit you down and say, look, Renee, we've got to get out of this?
Oh yeah, without doubt. And anyway, we started on our journey back to England.
Yes.
We crossed the borders into Germany.
Yes.
Came down, crossed the borders to Belgium, and there we got caught and sent back.
You got caught?
Yeah, we got sent back to Czechoslovakia.
Who caught you?
The border guards.
Oh dear.
But of course we didn't go back. We went to, you see, we didn't have no visas in our passports.
Yes.
And that's what they were looking for when
I see.
we had no permission to travel. But we went to Dortmund. We got to Dortmund in Germany, and on the way back, and managed to get what there was the army artillery's office on that station.